Girls are film. Girls are film. Alright guys, how's it going? It is a Monday, the 24th of January 2022, and you're watching KopTalk.tv in association with footballclubshares.com, where you can buy real shares in real football clubs. That's right. And you don't have to be a millionaire to do so. You can be a peasant like me. So listen, we've actually just mentioned Fabio Carvalho in the other video I just did. Maybe you didn't see it, but it weren't very exciting, so you're not missing anything. But what it just makes me laugh, right? This is on the Echo. It says Liverpool face transfer battle for Fabio Carvalho. Battle. It always makes me laugh when they use these words and stuff like that. So according to the Daily Mail, Liverpool will face competition for Carvalho, along with Leeds United and West Ham, because they're in for him as well. There's a few clubs monitoring, but say a battle, battles. I mean, can you imagine, I don't know, John Henry and all that, and Edwards, maybe even Klopp there, all fucking, I don't know, tooled up and that, and going down to I don't know, Ellen Road or something, come on, you fucking, you know what I mean, and just barging in the boardroom and fucking tables and chairs going, ashtrays and stuff like that. I was going to say maybe smashing the trophy cabinet, but some of these clubs don't have any trophies. Sorry, Leeds. And, that's a battle, isn't it? A battle? That's a battle. We know what a battle is. You see, this is another thing, right? When they talk about contract negotiations are ongoing. Or at the state. This is why I think we would have been better off being bought, by, Arabs or something like that. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this because it's kind of I'll say it. Can you imagine contract negotiations with them? Do you reckon Mo Salah, right? I mean, I know he's not from the UK, but I mean, you don't fuck with the Arabs, right? You don't fuck with the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? You sign it there. You fucking sign it or we'll cut your fingers off. I'll tell you what, we'll start with your left foot. That is how bored I am today. That is how there is absolutely nothing to talk about. Seriously, we're having to talk about Arabs in fucking contract negotiations. And having a battle. Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the battle thing, all right? So there's three clubs, let's just say only three clubs, Liverpool, Leeds and West Ham. And they're going to battle it out, for Carvalho, for his signature. So the players there, the side of the pitch, he's sat there, with his agent, and they've got a little spread on and that, little bite to eat and that. A bit like the Romans used to do, and someone, I don't know, a referee blows his whistle and all three, representatives from all three clubs have to kick the shit out of each other. And last one standing signs him. That's a fucking battle. But who'd win that? I mean, I won't want to fuck around with West Ham and Leeds United, I've got to be honest, you know what I mean? I mean, their fans are pretty handy. But I mean, it depends on what the people are like in the boardroom. You know what I'm saying? And if there's women in the boardroom now, but then again, sorry, it was just West Ham made me think of that. But if there's nobody sat next to me here, but I do look across here to pretend there is sometimes. But if there is a female board member, someone caught up in the negotiations, it's a woman. Am I allowed to say that? Or is that hashtag me too? Are we talking domestic violence if the woman's on the pitch getting her face kicked in? See, they want equality. Women want equality, as Rafa would say, quality. I think most guys would agree with me here that I think I'd rather fight a fella than a woman, because I tell you what, when they slip off them high heels, man, they have your fucking eye out of it and they start smashing your head in with the fucking handbag, and the nails fucking clawing your face to death. Do you know what I'm saying? Women, man, don't fucking piss a woman off. So if there's going to be any battles, we need some women in the boardroom at Liverpool. See, this is it. You see, Liverpool ain't got none, have they? You know what I mean? We got Linda. Now, if anyone lays a finger on Linda, I'm going to go fucking mental, because she's a bonny girl, See, I don't think she could, say that Karen Brady, for example. I bet she's a dirty bitch, I bet she likes Linda, though. I mean, she's always talking about clean sheets, isn't she, Linda? There's no surprises there. I mean, do you reckon that John Henry's got a fucking him? I reckon he's got a fucking him. We need to talk about. We need to find something to talk about today. I'm struggling for content. I really am struggling for content. I mean, I suppose we could talk about some of these players on the screen here that have been linked with us, but we all know it's absolute bullshit, really. I've got to come up with a sensible video. Who was your favourite Liverpool player of all time? Fuck's sake, man. Let's have a look on the members' website. Is there anything on there? They're talking about Oxlade-Chamberlain loan things here. What's Rich saying? Rich, he's a good lad. He's Rich. I like Rich. He's good. He said FIFA's new regulations on the loan market seek, among other things, to limit the number of players that a club have out on loan at any one time. This is a good thing. It's a good thing because, like, do you remember when Chelsea like when they got into money, they just went around and bought every decent youngster in the country, didn't they? They had no intentions of playing them. They just wanted to deprive other clubs. One of the driving factors behind the rule changes, which ultimately cap the numbers of players a club can send on loan to overseas teams at 6 by 2024. So hang on, let me read that again. One of the driving factors behind the rule changes, which ultimately cap the number of players a club can send on loan to overseas team at 6 by 2024. That's terrible. What's going on? Oh, I understand, right? It's to prevent the stockpiling of players, which a handful of top sides in England and Europe have done. FIFA's regulations, which will begin taking effect in the summer of 2022 when the cap starts, is 8 loans. Oh, loans. Well, you see, Liverpool don't really use the loan. What was that? We signed that kid, didn't we, on loan? That was it. Fucking Liverpool's fucking... You see, even Sir Alex did the odd loan deal, didn't he? We said we won't do a loan deal. Do you know why we won't do a loan deal? Because you've still got to pay money for it. An FSG... There we go, sucking the enthusiasm out of me. How Arsenal are affected by FIFA's new loan regulations. Go on then. Arsenal are within the strictest version of the rules set to be applied by 24. Even though the Gunners currently have 16 players out on loan from across their first team and under 23 squads. 7 of those players would be doubly exempt as a result of being both homegrown and aged 21 or under. Most are also at English clubs which remain exempt until domestic loan. I mean, this is all we've got to talk about. Fucking loan deals about Arsenal don't even affect us, man. You know what I mean? And even when it comes to, the youth play, I couldn't give a shit, mate. Honestly, years and years ago, right, I used to be really excited when Liverpool signed the best kid ever, right? You know, oh, they've got this lad from Ireland, or they've got Letalic and Pongoli, you know, the French gems and all that. What a load of shit they were. But, you know, like, it used to be really good. And I would follow someone's progress through the different ranks, right? And then they'd come through and they'd get up there and then they'd be in the reserves back then, knocking on the door. Then you'd maybe see one of them get through to the first team. Someone like Neil Mellor, for example, you know, occasionally. What was the other kid called? Was it John Newby? What was his name? Was it Newby? What happened to him? It was called Newby. And it was always, I used to really like it when these kids broke through. You know, like certainly people like Stephen Gerrard and Michael Owen, people like that, you know. When that substitute board comes up and you see them come through and all them years of hard work, I love it. But today it's not like that. It's not like that now. And it was pointed out to me not so long ago about the secondary transfer market that the clubs have, the big clubs, where they go out there and buy all these young players. And if they're good enough, they will make the grade. But how many of them do we actually see out of all of the players that they buy? And, you know, a lot of them, I think, do it on the pretense that they'll be, you know, good enough. And I think 9 times out of 10 they go, well, if they're good enough, brilliant, that's a bonus. But if not, you know, we've snapped him up for 300 grand compensation or something, and we'll sell him on for 15 million to Bournemouth or something like that. Yeah, see, I'm not going to make any more videos today. There's nothing to fucking talk about. This is why I'm not making videos. There's just nothing to talk about until it kicks off over the next week, and it will. Something's going to happen. I can feel it in my fingers. I can feel... I can. I'm keeping the faith. I am. And I want to say I'm going to be raging when the transfer window closes if we don't do anything. But I'm not going to be that negative. No, I've got complete and utter faith in our owners and our recruitment team, and it must be soul destroying being the recruitment team. I mean, you think how many players Liverpool must scout and recommend, and how many players the manager, how many players do we say in the podcast, the videos, the website, whatever, how many times do we go, we know Klopp really likes him, and how many times does he get him? The summer, this summer, right, I am telling you now, if it is a bad summer, I am going to go mental. I swear down, the old me will be back. I am not going to be passive anymore. I am sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. And someone made a good point. Now, where was it? I think it was on Twitter yesterday, and I think it was Martin. And Martin was saying, you know, how long before we start being told that Elliot's like a new signing and all that, you know. I mean, you guys are probably going to go on the rampage if Mo Salah leaves. Anyway, I won't go on the rampage if Mo Salah leaves because I'm a bit different to your way of thinking. I actually believe that the club shouldn't give him what he wants because it has a knock-on effect to the long-term future of the club and every other deal and player that we have and that we might be trying to sign. And I think when you've been handsomely rewarded and been given a very, very fair proposal, that you can go and fuck yourself if you're still too greedy. Now, there are, of course, other factors that can contribute to those decisions, and we're led to believe that Mo Salah doesn't believe that Liverpool are maybe as ambitious as he would like them to be, which is probably a fair statement, and he's entitled to that. One thing I will say, and I think I mentioned this on the podcast on Friday, is I think Mo Salah's agent is an absolute numpty. I don't think he helps us at all. You know, when I say us, I mean the club. Now, I don't want you to think of the club as FSG. Right? The club is everyone that works for the club, everyone that plays for the club, that represents the club. Of course, they're involved, but don't turn it into like, you know, fuck the club kind of thing. Give him what he wants. I'm not with that, guys. And I think that when I'm trying not to swear, I'll stick with numpty. I think when that numpty goes on Twitter putting cryptic messages out and photographs, you know, Jamie Carragher's pulled him up for this before. I think I think it's pathetic, and I actually think that that's showing a weakness because there's something not right for him to be doing that. And we all know, surely you know that Liverpool are sat there now going, let's see who else will give you that money. That's what they're doing, because realistically, there's probably only PSG that will, you know, and who wants to go and play in that fucking league? You know what I'm saying? And I don't want you to like suddenly turn on Mo Salah. I love Mo Salah. I hope he stays. I think he will stay. But his agent's a complete numpty. And at the end of the day, you know, Mo Salah could turn around to his agent, as I would do in that situation, and go, hey, wind it in a bit. You know what I mean? These fans deserve a bit more respect than this. We don't need to stress them out and to worry them and to confuse them. Mo Salah could do that if he wanted to. He could. He could, guys. He could. What would you do if your agent's running his mouth? Would you go, oh yeah, nice one, that'll work? Or would you be thinking, no, I've got a bit more respect for these people, these ordinary people, you know, that would give anything to have a tenth of my wage just once in their life? I ain't got time for it. I don't give a fuck if it's Mo Salah or not. I'll say it as it is. I hope there is a compromise. I think there probably will have to be. But Liverpool are obviously just going, no problem. You're not going to sign, then don't sign. And that's why that agent has gone on Twitter and putting out silly pictures and stuff like that. But who benefits from that? Do you really think him going on there and putting that picture out on Twitter, do you really think that anyone at Liverpool goes, yeah, loads of fucks given immediately? Do you reckon? Do you reckon that makes any difference? All it does is anger the supporters and upset the supporters. People that want him to stay, people like me, I want him to stay. But he can't just tell the club what he's getting. I trust the club on this. I trust the club impeccably. Absolutely, no doubt about it whatsoever. I trust the club on this. So, take it or fucking leave it. You know what I'm like? You know I'm a miserable git when it comes to stuff like that, but I'm just honest. I'm just honest. You give him what he wants, and then what do you think happens next? What do you think happens next? Do you think all the other players go, oh, right, okay. Or do you think they go, hang on a minute, then surely I should be on a better deal here. I'm not having this. And then players you're trying to sign will come in, wanting more. And I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, well, we'll just give him it then, because the players that, Man City are getting that. Yeah, but we're not Man City. And ultimately, somewhere along the line, you've got to pay for it. You're paying for it for your subscriptions if you're stupid enough to still have one, and your merchandise and everything. Someone's going to pay for it. Fuck them. Tell them to go fuck themselves, guys. God, can we have something fucking positive to talk about? This is why I'm not making videos. Yeah, I'm not making any more videos until something happy to talk about. I don't know. I started off the day, I was quite happy because, Man City, we just closed that gap a little bit. Gives you a bit of hope, doesn't it? Let's give him a week. Let's see what happens in the next week. I'm positive. I'm very positive. I think we'll be all right. But he's fucking Mo Salah's. He's a fucking. I might go back to bed. I'm fucking fed up now.